Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, today it's all about time, the ticking of time, because we only have a certain amount of time to place beautiful characters and artifacts into our fellowship to try to build engines, gain points, and get sources and fortify them and conquer them. Today we're taking a look at Echoes of Time, which is from Cranio Creations, and it's co-designed by Simone Luciani, which is one of the most well-known designers in the industry. More on that in just a moment, but let me show you how it's played at a high level. I'll see you on the other side. In Echoes of Time, you're going to be gathering cards, getting them into your fellowship, and gaining points for them at the end of the game. Some of them are characters, other ones are artifacts. You're also going to be trying to conquer and fortify different sources to get points at the end of the game and get abilities. Everyone starts with a player board. At the beginning of the game, you're going to be able to play a card, which is what you're going to do on many turns anyway. And when playing a card, you'll play a certain amount of cards out of your hand to discard for cost, like 3 cards out of my hand, this costs. You start with 7. And it tells you where to put this on, 2 time, 2 time. Now, at the beginning of each round, you go through a time phase where the tiles that are underneath this will slide, and the tile that was over here comes back this way and remakes the picture. Then in turn order, you're going to take one of 2 actions, like drawing 2 cards, or playing a card like we just showed you, or moving either 1 card 2 spots, or 2 cards 1 spot. Moving this card off here summons them into your fellowship, which at the end of the game is going to get you 3 points. It has 1 attack value because it's a character, but it also has an ability that can be triggered depending on which tile is off the board. Right now, this is fire. You can, for a free action, cover this, take this ability, which is gain a card and gain a point. At the end of the round, this comes off, and next time one of these tiles is off, you can trigger that again. So you're triggering up different engine building depending on the terrain. Some cards give you immediate abilities like drawing 2 cards. Now, if this is what my fellowship looked like, I have an attack strength of 4. One of the sources out here, there's 1 per player each game, has a defense of 3. I have 4. I have to beat this, which I do. So for an action, you can conquer or fortify. Now by conquering, I take this from the middle of the table, put it in front of me, and I put the characters that conquered it behind it, which means I am giving up the abilities of these characters for the strength in order to get this. This would allow me to shift the time, and I'm going to get 6 points if I have this at the end of the game. Now, if I'm able to get 9 strength, which includes the 4 I already have, or greater than 9 strength, I'm able to conquer it. All these cards would get slid completely under this with all the other cards to match better than 9. I would take 5 points, and it's going to be worth 10 points at the end, and now nobody can steal it from me. Because if I've only just conquered it, someone else can come by, I have 4 strength, they could do 5 and basically steal it from me. And the other twist with this is if you've activated a character's ability, you can't use them that round in order to fortify or conquer. So maybe that's what you're doing, playing cards to certain spots, moving them down, getting them into your fellowship, using the abilities of these, and possibly using them to conquer and fortify different sources. This continues until all the sources have been fortified, or one player has 10 in their fellowship, or if the points are gone, because there's a certain amount of points per game in the pot, whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Okay, let me first tell you about my biases and such coming into this, so it gives you a frame of reference from where I'm coming from with the review, because I'm going to be offering opinions here. This is co-designed by Simone Luciani, who is one of the most well-known designers out there. Highest ranking games, things like Barrage and the Grand Austria Hotel and Zolkin, and he's done a million other games that are very highly ranked that I really love. So he is a designer that I tend to, if he's doing something, I look at it, and if it's something like this, like a interesting card game that's 45 minutes, I'm even more interested into it, quite honestly. And so I looked at the art, I looked at the card play, I looked at one of the co-designers, and I'm like, yes, this is something I'm interested in. So going into this, it looked like something I was going to like. And so let's talk about the things I did like about it. I love how streamlined this game is. Simple mechanisms, lots of depth. I often talk about my depth to complexity ratio. How deep can a game be without getting itself in the way? Meaning streamlined mechanisms, but lots of, the thinking is more about, all these different things I can do, even though the mechanisms are quite straightforward and easy to teach. This has that in spades for sure. I love that, hey, it's Echoes of Time. The timing of what to play when is huge in this game. What do you play? Where do you play it? Do you move something forward? When do you need something in the fellowship to get the the conquering or the fortifying done? When do you need that ability to trigger because, hey, there's an opportunity of that tile's terrain going to be going off next round. Let me get them off so I can trigger that at least once before it comes around again. The timing of what to play when is one of the most best decisions in this game, and you're having it on almost every turn. You also have agonizing decisions on which cards to discard. It's like, oh, I got to spend 3 cards. I have these 5. Which 3 do I need to do? You know, it's like, it's tough. Oh, I want to get rid of this, but this is coming up. I want to get rid of this, but this has a lot of tag. This one synergizes good with this card. It's like agonizing decisions. It's all the time. You're going to be deciding which ones to discard. It's going to be a tough decision almost every time. I like that you're setting up for the best bonuses in your fellowship. You're trying to figure out the ones that combo with others, the ones that set you up for what you're trying to do, the ones that have different terrains coming out that's going to be able to trigger right away. And you're always trying to set those up for some interesting bonuses. The flame effects, again, really cool how like some of these are, you know, they're happening now, some are happening later. I love that when you activate the flame effect, that card is not available to be used to conquer or to fortify this round. Cool, you got to make that decision. Do I want the ability, or do I really need to go get that right now? Speaking of the conquering the sources, it's interesting because you're conquering either one in the middle or from someone else. Now, more on player interaction in just a moment, but I like that you're doing that. It's kind of like Longest Road, Settlers of Catan, right? You're fighting over certain sources over certain times. When to trigger the flame effects versus when to use them for the source cards is like one of the best decisions in the game, because you're always trying to figure out, again, the timing of everything. So the echoes of time isn't just how long it takes to get there, but the timing of what you're doing when is just everything of the strategy in this game. I also like that when you fortify, it kind of loses you all the icons on those cards. Like, because when you conquer, sure, you're losing the abilities, but you still have those icons. And certain abilities will trigger off those icons. But when you fortify, sure, you're getting another powerful ability right away. Sure, you have that for the rest of the game, no one can steal it. And sure, you're getting a ton of points at the end for it. But you're giving up all the abilities and all the icons on those cards. So it's sort of a trade-off. And so that's tough to say, when do I want to do that? It also could possibly rush you to the end game condition, more on that later, which is an interesting decision. So overall, I really like the game. I think it's super butter smooth. I think it's very streamlined. It's really interesting. The art in this game is absolutely amazing. You could tell they spent a ton of time and energy having the artist make just this beautiful world here, and it really pays off. Anything negative I didn't like about the game? A few things. One, there's not a ton of interaction in this game. Now, granted, you are possibly conquering a source that somebody else has. Other than that, there's a few cards that can cause other people to discard cards. There's a variant in the rule you can take those cards out. There's not that many of them anyway. So there's really not a ton of interaction in the cards. There's a few cards here and there that do that. But mostly the major interaction is, hey, I conquered something that you conquered, I'm taking it back. And it's like, okay, yeah, you did that. They might take it back from you again, but now you've also given them their abilities back. You know, so it's not the end of the world. So it's not super punishing. But other than that, there's not a lot of interaction in this game. I tend to like more interactions in my games. If that doesn't, you should at least just know. That's pretty much most of the interaction in the game player-wise. And someone taking someone else's thing might not happen in the game, because you might have a different one you want to go after. You might not want to borrow that one, because some of these sources have abilities, the ongoing abilities that you might not care about that one, but you want the one that nobody has anyway. So there's not a ton of player interaction. There's some, but not as much as some player might want. Just know that that's there. And the last thing was sort of like an odd edge case that I came across, is that like if you're playing a 2-player game and the 2 sources you check that you use are like the ones that only need 5 and 4, or they have 5 and 4, they cost basically, you know, the smallest 2. You can have, if both players focus on characters and they focus on conquering and then fortifying and not fighting each other and just going after each other one, the game can end super quick. I had a game end in 4 turns. And I thought it was a little strange, so I contacted the publisher to make sure I was playing it right, and it sounds like I was. But it was a lot of like, if you're playing a 2-player game, and if you use the 2 lowest ones, and if both players race for characters, race for conquering, or race for fortifying, and they aren't fighting each other, it can end very quickly. That game took 8 minutes. That was a little weird. I thought that maybe there should be a guard band for this somewhere, whether you, use 3 sources with a 2-player game, or make sure you use at least one of the ones that's the top 3 in defense, and then shuffle all the rest and use the second one, so it can't end that fast. In a weird case like that, the game can end fast. Way faster than it should, in my opinion. But it's not going to happen all the time. It's going to happen, it's an edge case, but it did happen to me. Otherwise, the game's fantastic. I think if you like engine building, you like clever card play, you like streamlined, you like beautiful worlds, this is going to be one to check out. Now, this is coming up for pre-order for, I believe, an October release by Cranio Creations. I think the pre-orders open August 25th, so you'll be able to pre-order it then. This has been the Game Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games, helping you on the next one you love. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. In their 5.0 Kickstarter, they found a way to deflate prices to pre-pandemic levels without sacrificing their quality brand, and in some cases by $200, plus dropping the shipping price as much as 50%, saving another $100. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to late pledge now.